Everyone laughed when she walked into the studio, but when she opened her mouth, the whole room fell silent. Rain tapped against the wide glass windows of Harmony Records. Inside, light from the ceiling panels reflected off silver microphones and slick black floors. A small crowd had gathered for the open audition, phones ready to record, chasing their chance to be discovered. Emma Lane stood just inside the doorway, still dripping from the rain. Her faded jeans were cuffed above old sneakers, her hair tied in a low bun. She carried a second-hand guitar, the kind with small scratches that told more truth than any brand label. Her teenage daughter, Lily, trailed behind her, clutching a backpack and looking both proud and embarrassed. "Mom, you don't have to do this," Lily murmured, eyes darting to the group of younger singers who were whispering and laughing. Emma smiled gently. "It's just one song." At the far end of the room stood Ryan Cross, the man who ran this audition like it was his kingdom. Mid-40s, leather jacket, designer sneakers. His reputation stretched across the city, known for his ruthless honesty and platinum records. He tapped his clipboard, voice sharp. "All right, people, listen up. You've got 1 minute, that's it. If I like what I hear, we talk. If I don't, you leave. No crying, no arguing. Music doesn't care about feelings." He turned his eyes on Emma and frowned. "You're next." Lily blinked. "Already?" Emma nodded once and stepped forward. The room seemed to tighten around her. The other singers shifted, curious. Someone whispered, "Is she like a teacher or something?" Ryan leaned on the console. "Name? Emma Lane," he scribbled lazily. "Age? 36. That earned a few raised eyebrows. Ryan gave a low whistle. "You know most people here are half that, right?" "I didn't come to compete with them," she said. "Just to sing." He smirked. "Fair enough. Let's see what you've got, country mom." Lily winced, but Emma stayed calm. She opened her guitar case, tuned a single string, and began. Her voice came soft, steady, almost hesitant. A folksy melody filled the room, warm and worn. It wasn't flashy, but it was honest. Ryan listened for 10 seconds, then lifted a hand. "Stop." The word cut the sound clean. Emma looked up. "Look," Ryan said, "you've got a decent tone, but this industry runs on edge. You're safe. Pretty voice, no fire." The others chuckled quietly. Lily bit her lip. Emma set her guitar down. "Thank you for listening." Ryan blinked. "That's it? No fight?" Emma met his gaze. "Not every battle is worth fighting." He tilted his head. "Well, maybe not, but it's worth learning when to stop wasting your time. That song belongs in a diner, not on a chart." Lily's face reddened. "You didn't even let her finish." Ryan turned his smirk toward her. "Kid, I've been in this business 20 years. I can tell in 10 seconds who's worth the mic time." Emma placed a hand on Lily's shoulder. "Let's go." Ryan waved a dismissive hand. "Good luck at karaoke night." The door closed behind them with a soft thud. Outside, rain slid down the awning. Emma and Lily walked silently toward the bus stop, their reflection rippling in the puddles. Lily finally spoke. "He didn't even hear your real voice." Emma breathed in the damp air. "He heard what he was listening for." Lily frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means he didn't come to discover someone new. He came to confirm he's still right." They waited under the flickering streetlight. Behind them, the faint glow of Harmony Records shimmered through the mist. Inside, music continued, but something had shifted. Lily looked up. "You'll sing again, though, right?" Emma hesitated. Then softly, "We'll see." The bus pulled up with a hiss, doors opening to warm air and faint jazz. Emma took one last glance at the studio before stepping inside. The next morning, Harmony Records buzzed again. Ryan Cross was trending online, his sharp rejection of the folk mom now clipped into a 30-second video that someone had secretly recorded. The comments poured in fast. Some mocked Emma, others defended her. She wasn't that bad. Dude didn't even let her sing. You can see the girl's heart breaking. Ryan laughed when his assistant Mia showed him the thread. Controversy means views. Views mean engagement. And engagement sells. Mia frowned. Still, maybe you should apologize. She looked genuine. Genuine doesn't make hits, Ryan said, brushing it off. Across town, Emma folded laundry in silence. Lily scrolled through her phone, jaw tight. "Mum, it's everywhere," she said. "They're calling you the reject mum." Emma kept folding. "It'll fade." "No, it won't. You should say something." Emma shook her head. "Let them talk. I know who I am." That evening, Lily's school hosted a local talent showcase. Parents, teachers, and students crowded the auditorium. A small banner hung above the stage. Voices of Tomorrow. Emma sat in the back row, trying to blend in. She had promised Lily she wouldn't draw attention, but whispers followed her anyway. "That's her, right? The lady from the video? I heard the producer roasted her. Still, she's brave for showing up." Ryan Cross had been invited as a guest judge, part of a PR move to support local talent. When he walked in, cameras flashed. His grin widened when he noticed Emma in the crowd. "Well, if it isn't our viral star," he said, loud enough for others to hear. "You planning to audition again?" Emma's jaw tightened. "No, I'm just here for my daughter." He chuckled. "Smart move. Once is enough." The host called Lily's name next. She stepped nervously onto the stage, clutching her small acoustic guitar. Her voice trembled at first, but as she sang, it steadied, clear, youthful, sincere. The crowd clapped warmly. Ryan nodded politely. "Nice tone. She's got potential." Emma smiled faintly from the audience, pride flickering in her eyes. Then Ryan leaned toward the mic. "Wait, hold up. I've got an idea." The crowd quieted. "Why don't we make this interesting? Since your mum's already famous for getting rejected, how about she shows everyone what I supposedly missed?" Lily froze. The room buzzed with whispers. Emma rose slowly. "This isn't your stage to use, Mr. Cross." Ryan smirked. "Come on, Emma. The internet thinks I cut you off too early. Let's settle it right now. One song. Live. No edits. No excuses." The crowd erupted with cheers and chants. "Sing, sing, sing." Lily looked panicked. "Mum, you don't have to." Emma squeezed her hand. "It's all right." Ryan gestured to the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Emma Lane." As she stepped up, the lights hit her face. She blinked against them, the sound of applause both warm and suffocating. Ryan crossed his arms, confident he'd win twice. First in the studio, now in front of an audience. Emma adjusted the mic. "Before I sing, I just want to say, music isn't about proving anything. It's about remembering who you are when everything else forgets you." Ryan rolled his eyes. "Beautiful speech. Let's hope the song's better." The room went silent. Emma took a breath and began. Her first note carried softly, like rain on a quiet night. But before the melody could bloom, Ryan lifted his hand again. "Stop," he said sharply. "Same problem. Pretty voice, no edge." Gasps filled the room. Lily's eyes widened in disbelief. Emma looked at him calmly. "You're afraid of quiet things, aren't you?" Ryan blinked. "Excuse me?" "Loud doesn't mean strong," she said. "Sometimes silence says more than noise." The crowd murmured. unsure whether to clap or wait. Ryan laughed nervously. Nice quote. But this is an industry, not therapy. Emma smiled faintly. Then maybe the industry forgot what art feels like. She placed her guitar down and walked off the stage. Lily followed, holding back tears. The audience stayed frozen for a moment, then broke into scattered applause. Behind them, Ryan watched, something uneasy flickering in his chest. He looked at his assistant. She's still not it, he muttered, but the words didn't sound convincing. Outside the auditorium, Emma exhaled, her breath clouding in the cool night air. Lily looked up at her. He humiliated you again? Emma shook her head. He gave me the stage twice. That's on him. 3 days passed. The video of Ryan's second shutdown went viral again. Clips flooded social media, half mocking him, half praising Emma's composure. At the small cafe where Emma worked mornings, people whispered as she poured coffee. Some smiled with pity, some with quiet admiration. She didn't react. Her face stayed calm, her movements steady. Lily sat at a corner table, scrolling through the comments. Mum, everyone's saying you should post your own video. Prove him wrong. Emma set down a cup. I don't need to prove anything. But you do, Lily insisted. Not for him, for yourself. Emma turned toward the window. Outside, the city moved like a tired song, all noise and hurry. When you stop chasing applause, you start hearing what really matters. Lily frowned. And what's that? Truth, Emma said, quietly. That night, they returned home to their small apartment. The walls were thin, the furniture old but clean. On the table sat Emma's guitar, untouched since the school event. Lily hesitated before lifting it. You used to play this every night, she said softly. Before Dad passed. Emma froze. Then she turned and took the guitar from her hands. Some songs hurt to remember. Lily studied her. Then maybe it's time you write a new one. Emma didn't answer. She sat by the window, fingers tracing the worn frets, eyes lost in thought. The next day, something unexpected happened. A local radio host invited Emma for a small community segment titled Second Chances. It wasn't a big show, but it was genuine. Are you sure you want to do this? Lily asked as Emma tuned her guitar backstage. Emma smiled faintly. I'm not doing it for him, this time. The studio lights were warm, softer than Ryan's harsh glare. The host, a kind older man named Mr. Harris, greeted her kindly. We all saw what happened, Emma. I think people want to hear your side, through your music. Emma nodded. Then that's what they'll hear. When she sang, the room changed. No laughter, no interruptions, no arrogance. Just her voice, clear and full, trembling not from fear, but truth. The song was about love that endures and the kind of courage that comes quietly. Mr. Harris wiped his eyes when she finished. That was beautiful, he said, raw and real. The clip went online that night. By morning, it had been shared thousands of times. Even Ryan Cross saw it. At first by accident, then twice more, replaying in silence. He leaned back in his chair, frowning. How did I miss that? Mia looked at him. Because you didn't listen. Omniscient backstory, paragraph. Years ago, before Lily was born, Emma Lane had been one of the most promising vocalists in the state. She had a contract, a growing fan base, and a husband who managed her early career. But the night before her first national tour, a car accident took his life. Emma sang once more at his memorial, then never again in public. She vowed to stop chasing fame, believing her voice belonged to memory, not to money. For 10 years, she kept that vow, raising Lily quietly, singing only within the walls of home. The next morning, Harmony Records felt different. People whispered when Ryan walked through. On every monitor, Emma's radio performance replayed, captions praising her golden voice. Ryan's chest tightened as he watched. The same woman he dismissed twice now moved people across the country with a single song. Mia broke the silence. She's trending higher than any of our artists this week. Ryan didn't respond. He just stared at the screen, her face frozen mid-note, eyes closed, pure emotion in every line. "Set up a meeting," he said finally. "Are you sure?" Mia asked. "You humiliated her twice." "Then I'll unhumiliate her," Ryan muttered, "if she'll even let me." At home, Emma scrolled through her messages. Invitations had started pouring in. Small radio stations, music bloggers, even a charity event asking her to perform. Lily beamed. "Mom, this is your chance. He's going to regret what he said." Emma smiled faintly. "That's not what this is about." "Then what's it about?" She looked down at her guitar. "It's about finishing the song I never got to sing." Her voice was steady, but her eyes glimmered with something else. Resolve. Outside, evening sunlight spilled across the window, painting her face gold. She picked up her guitar again. The first few notes filled the apartment, low and haunting. For the first time in years, Emma Lane wasn't singing for someone else. She was singing for herself. The invitation came 2 days later. A charity gala at Harmony Hall, sponsored by Harmony Records. The flyer listed Ryan Cross as the headliner and special guest performer, Emma Lane. Lily spotted it first. "Mum, he actually put your name on the poster." Emma read it quietly. "He's trying to fix his image." "So you're not going?" Emma's fingers lingered on the paper. "I didn't say that." The hall was grand that evening, all glass chandeliers and polished marble. The city's elite filled the tables, murmuring over wine and press cameras. On stage, Ryan greeted the crowd with his signature grin. "Tonight," he announced, "we're here to celebrate voices that inspire. You may remember one particular voice that sparked conversation recently." Laughter rippled through the room. Ryan smiled smoothly. "Well, she's here tonight, and she deserves a proper listen." Backstage, Emma waited beside Lily and Mia. Her palms were dry, her breath calm. Mia leaned closer. "He's trying to make amends, but don't let him steer this. Own it." Emma nodded once. "I will." Ryan called her name. The applause was polite, uncertain. Emma walked into the light, simple and composed. Ryan extended a microphone. "Let's show them what you've got, Emma." She took it, but her eyes didn't meet his. "Before I start," she said softly, "I just want to thank everyone who still believes music can come from anywhere, even from someone you've already dismissed." A quiet hush spread through the hall. Ryan shifted uncomfortably. "We've all seen your viral moment. Maybe tonight you can show us what makes it special." Emma smiled faintly. "Maybe I can show you what you missed." She picked up her guitar and began. The first notes floated out, gentle and raw. Her voice filled the room. Not loud, but wide, carrying warmth that slipped under the skin. It was a song about forgiveness, loss, and return. The audience leaned forward. Glasses stopped clinking. Even the waiters paused mid-step. Ryan stood frozen near the soundboard. His confident smirk had vanished. Each lyric seemed to land where his ego once sat. Emma's voice climbed higher, breaking slightly but beautifully, the kind of imperfection that made truth sound alive. When she reached the final line, she closed her eyes and let the silence stretch. Then came the sound. Applause, but not polite this time. Real, thunderous applause. Ryan's throat tightened. For the first time in years, he had nothing to say. Emma looked around the hall, then at him. "That's what you stopped twice." He opened his mouth, but no words came. Lily stepped out from the wings, eyes shining. She rushed into her mother's arms. "That was perfect," she whispered. Reporters swarmed the stage, shouting questions. "How does it feel to be proven wrong, Mr. Cross?" "Emma, what's next for you?" Ryan finally found his voice. "She deserves every bit of this moment," he said quietly. "I was wrong." Emma turned toward him. "You weren't wrong, Ryan. You just forgot to listen." He nodded slowly, shame washing through him. "You're right. I stopped hearing the music a long time ago." The crowd watched in silence. Emma stepped closer and offered her hand. "Then maybe it's time to start again." He took it, eyes down. "If you'll let me." The applause swelled again. Cameras flashed, but Emma wasn't posing. She just stood there, calm and still, her expression soft but unyielding. Later, outside the hall, she and Lily walked beneath the streetlights. The night was cool. The city is quieter now. Lily looked up at her. "He'll probably want to sign you, you know." Emma smiled. "Maybe, but this time it's my choice." "You're going to say no?" "I'm going to sing where it matters," Emma said. "Not where it's convenient." Lily grinned. "You're amazing, Mum." Emma squeezed her hand. "No, I'm just finally not afraid." Across the street, Ryan stood by the doors, watching them leave. His assistant approached. "Should I send her a contract?" Ryan shook his head. "Not tonight. Let her sing free. The world's already listening." He looked up at the stage lights dimming inside and sighed. "That's the voice I tried to silence." The next morning, the world woke up to Emma Lane. Clips from the gala flooded social media. Every outlet that had once mocked her now praised her grace, power, and authenticity. Headlines read, "The woman the industry rejected just redefined it." Ryan Cross humbled live on stage. Emma sat at her kitchen table, sipping tea, her phone buzzing non-stop. Lily scrolled through the comments with wide eyes. "Mom, you're trending #1 in the country," she said. "They're calling you the Golden Voice." Emma smiled softly. Funny how quiet can sound so loud when people finally listen. Lily beamed. "You did it." Emma shook her head. "No, we did. You're the one who kept me singing." Outside, morning sunlight poured through the curtains, warm and gentle. Emma turned her phone face down and picked up her guitar. "Let's start the day right." Lily laughed. "No breaks for stars, huh?" "Stars come and go," Emma said, "but a voice lasts as long as the truth behind it." She played the opening line of the same song she had sung at the gala. This time, Lily joined in, her young voice harmonizing shyly. For a moment, the small apartment felt larger than any stage. At Harmony Records, Ryan sat behind his desk, listening to the replay again. Her voice filled his office, the same voice he'd dismissed twice, the same voice now defining everything he claimed to understand. Mia entered quietly. "The board wants to offer her a deal." Ryan rubbed his temple. "She doesn't need us. She might still want to record." He sighed. "Maybe, but not under me." Mia paused. "You really mean that?" He nodded slowly. "Some lessons don't need another paycheck." She reminded me why I started this in the first place. He leaned back, eyes tired. "It used to be about music. Somewhere along the way, it became about control." Mia smiled, faintly. "Then maybe that's your second chance." Ryan looked toward the window. The city stretched below, restless as always. "Maybe it is." That evening, Emma returned to the same cafe where she used to work. The manager grinned and held out a newspaper. Her photo covered the front page. "Guess I'll have to find a new singer for open mic night," he joked. Emma laughed. "I'll still sing here sometimes. Keeps me grounded." A few customers turned from their tables and clapped softly. She smiled, humbled, and nodded in thanks. Then the bell above the door rang. Ryan Cross stood there, hat in hand, a hesitant smile on his face. "May I?" he asked. Emma gestured to the seat across from her. "Go ahead." He sat. For a long moment, neither spoke. The air between them carried both regret and respect. Finally, Ryan said, "I came to apologize, not publicly, not for the cameras, just to say it face to face." Emma studied him quietly. "Why now?" "Because I saw something in your performance that I've been missing for years," he said. "You sang like you had nothing to prove. I've been chasing noise for so long, I forgot what honesty sounds like." She nodded slowly. "Apology accepted." He exhaled, visibly relieved. "If you ever decide to record again, I'll help in any way you want. No strings attached." Emma smiled kindly. "I'll remember that. But for now, I think I'll just keep singing where it matters." Ryan chuckled softly. "That's fair." He stood to leave, then paused. "You know, for someone I once called safe, you turned out to be unforgettable." She met his eyes. "Strength isn't in the noise, Ryan. It's knowing when not to fight." He nodded, humbled. "You were right." Ryan left the cafe quietly, the bell chiming as the door closed behind him. Emma looked out the window, the city alive with evening light. She took a slow sip of tea, her reflection merging with the world outside, content, whole, and free. Lily ran up from the corner booth. "Was that him?" Emma nodded. "Yes, and I think he finally listened." They smiled at each other. The camera lingered on her guitar, leaning against the wall, strings gleaming in the sunlight. He mocked her voice, but the world made her unforgettable. If you felt Emma's story, hit subscribe and share this video. Tell us where you're watching from, and remind someone today that true strength speaks softly but lasts forever.